Well, I have it on. Yes. Okay.
Watch out, cause I'm here now and I'm staying. Claws out, this the fight that I've been craving. I know there's something inside of me, but it's been masked by fear and anxiety. But no more, I'ma break out of the chains quietly. I'm waking up, this ain't enough. All of my dreams were starting to rust, but I believe that I can adjust. Positive thoughts, I'm starting to trust. Nothing's deserved unless you work. Something of worth requires an urge. I have been hurt by those at their worst, but that gave me will, some power, a surge. And they know that I won't surrender, so they fear me as a contender. When I fight, they always remember, yeah. I will be known, I won't let go. I will not stop, I will be great.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Yeah. Hello. Welcome to Overtime Arkansas. And you got, well, I know I'm a familiar face. I know there are people that know your face, Bill.
Been a while,
glad
right?
to have you along.
It's been a
Right?
minute.
Glad to have you along. I'm actually texting a coach right now to talk to him about coming on here. And anyway, we're just trying to gather some folks here. It was a big night in Arkansas football.
Yeah, I was.
And is it always, isn't it always a big night in Arkansas football?
It seems like it. It
I mean,
seems
really,
like
when you
every
think about
year.
it.
What's weird about this year, though, Brad, is we've had all of these traditional powerhouse teams that aren't necessarily powerhouse this year, and that's what's striking a
Yeah.
lot of people by surprise this season.
Well, I think we probably got to go to the surprise of the night right off the top of the, right off the bat here is that Pulaski Academy fell hard tonight. Something that we're just not used to. I mean, Pulaski Academy goes outside of the state and plays and doesn't get beat like this. In fact, they were undefeated coming into this ball game
Mhm.
tonight, and that was after beating an out-of-state team on a last-second field goal. Unbelievable that they were able to fall to Little Rock Christian at 55-13. We got Parkview and Hot Springs on the screen right now, and you see highlights of that. That's Eric McGee throwing a touchdown pass last night. If you got a chance to watch our game of the week last night, you saw Parkview and Hot Springs. And I'll tell you what, Bill, this Parkview team is unbelievably fast. They're good. all the way around, athletes everywhere. And I'll tell you what, last night they put on an absolute
They
clinic.
really, really did put on a clinic last night, Brad. And the one thing that I really stood out with Parkview last night is the question that you asked on the broadcast later in the game, and that was, who's number one? And of course, we have Parkview ranked number one in the class, but in the whole state overall, who's number one? And I think Parkview is going to be a strong contender for that spot.
Well, a they definitely got a claim, or at least some claim to it. That they're definitely number one in some people's eyes. I know that Conway had a big night tonight, and they are a team that a lot of people talk about. Greenwood is another team that a lot of people talk about as a possible number one. They had a big night tonight as well. Pulaski Academy was a team that we included into that graphic last night. Fayetteville had a big night tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So there are definitely some teams out there that you could, there's not, Bryant for the last 5 years, they've won state 5 years in a row. And they were able to say, yeah, nobody can touch us. But right now, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable how good this Parkview team is.
And we actually had a chance. I'm not sure if you're ready for that yet, Brad, but we do have a couple interviews after the game. I do have those queued up whenever you're ready to call for them.
Well, we got Montario Elston here. I know he was one of our interviews last night, breaking a 76-yard run on the reverse last night, and just highlight after highlight, play after play, speed after speed, and unbelievable playing by the Parkview Patriots on the way to a 54-7 victory over the Hot Springs Trojans, who I really think Hot Springs will bounce back and be a pretty good team in the 5A South.
I think they will. I think they were just up against a powerhouse in Parkview last night, just kind of up against the buzzsaw. They kind of looked off edge all game long and just wasn't able to establish themselves offensively.
Now, we just got Adam Johnston. He committed to, I think he did. Let me make sure. Yeah, he committed to talking about the Mills and Whitehall game. We'll talk about that later on here in the day. So, anyway, that was a fantastic ball game there at Whitehall, number 3 versus number 10. Let's go ahead and go to the interviews that we had from Coach Brad Bolding and Montario Elston.
All right, here on Overtime Arkansas with the Arkansas Sports Network, we've got Montario Elston, our player, D3 Auto Sales player of the game, had a 76-yard touchdown run on a jet sweep, 35-yard pass later in the game. I think he had about 144 yards total, probably only touched the ball 4 or 5 times. So, big night, man. What was it like out there making those big plays tonight?
It was fun. I give credit to everybody blocking for it to allow it to happen because without them, I wouldn't have scored.
Right.
But it was really fun to go out there and put the guys winning the game.
Hot Springs has some pretty good talent over there. What did you think of y'all's defense tonight against those wide receivers?
Our defense played them real good because they ain't really score a whole play, so our defense did really good at stopping the pass. They had good receivers.
Yes, sir. Talk to me what it's like playing with this kind of talent around you. Like we said, you only touched the ball a few times, able to have a big night. But y'all you're so deep. You got McGee at quarterback and just so many guys. I could just sit here and name Corey, number 4 running back. You're just loaded. What's it like, and how's the locker room work with that? Or is there any kind of selfishness? Like someone's like, man, I need the ball more, or y'all do a good job in that aspect?
Really just like seeing each other do good and win. As long as everybody was on the same page and stuff, nobody being selfish, it's really good. So we're really good with not everybody selfish about it. We'll cheer on our teammates if they do something good. If we just have a bad game, then we'll try to cheer each other up.
Yes, sir. Well, y'all moved to 4-0 tonight, 1-0 in conference. Got a big battle with the Queen next week. What do y'all got to do to keep the focus going?
Just stay focused on the next game and more over there, like that. Just stay ready.
Sir, one game at a time. Well, great interview, sir. That's our D3 Auto Sales player of the game, Montario Elston. Great job, man. Thank you. All right, we're here on Overtime Arkansas. Coach Brad Bolding, huge win tonight over number 5 team in the Solos, Hot Springs, 54-7. That was an impressive quarterback for them. Some good balls, and y'all really did what you kind of wanted, though. It was impressive to see. Talk to us about the game tonight, what you liked, as you saw on the floor and everything.
I really thought we started off really well. We really challenged our players this week after 3 games, beat 3 7A teams in a row, and good quality teams. And we really needed to challenge them and raise the bar, and that's something that we did this week. And the kids jumped on it. They really did, and I was really proud. I mean, that we were able to not shut down, but we really played their really good receivers. Those are D1 receivers they got. We played them really well, and I was proud of our guys, especially because Cam Settles is out tonight with his shoulder, and so we had some other guys that had to step up, and I felt a lot.
Yeah, we noticed Cam wasn't out there, and like you said, those are some really good receivers for the Trojans. Y'all did a great job defensively on them, and really that one pass you couldn't have thrown a better ball.
Beautiful.
What's his name, Ogden? Great play. But I mean, for the most part, though, y'all really played well. They really couldn't get the run game going consistently. The front seven really did a good job. Of course, Smith, one of those guys, had a great night. He was flashing all over the field defensively. Who you got next week?
Go to the Queen.
Go to the Queen.
And I've been really on Jacory. I've been telling a lot of people he's a sophomore. He's going to be big time. I had Martrell Spade was one of mine at Arkansas, and I mean I put him in that category. Wow. And faster, better athlete. So I'm really excited about it.
That's some lofty praise right there. So that's awesome, man. Just a huge win overall, and just a great job. Y'all got it rolling. What did it feel like? We weren't here that night, but that Bryant win. Finally getting them that first loss in the state in 5 years. What was that like?
Well, we have a ton of respect for those guys who play with summer ball with them all summer in team camps, man. To be able to do that, felt like we could play with them. Just didn't know if we had enough personnel to be able to. We have two-way starters, and they have a lot of guys that don't. But to be able to go over their place and do that was really special. So I'm proud of my players, though. They were able to move on from something that was almost like a Super Bowl experience for them to move on to the next game.
Well, great job, like you said, kind of keeping them focused here, because you drop back down to your own conference, and after playing those 3 7A teams, excellent job, and y'all are on a roll right now. Good luck next week against the Queen Coach.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Great interview there by Jerran Miller. He was a play-by-play on the call last night, and that big 54-7 victory over Parkview over Hot Springs. Again, I really believe Hot Springs will bounce back. I just think that Parkview's that good. As we talked about, one of the teams that you can say that can lay claim to one of the possibly the number 1 spot. I know that the one of the publications in the state of Arkansas has them as the number 1 team overall in the state. I would say right now for us, we would have them at number 2. I'm pretty sure that we will also we work with the Arkansas Sports Media Poll. They have them at number 2, but they're right up there at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about the poll that's interesting is, our poll, we take into account, it's a media poll, and so we have a lot of different voices that go into it. It's not just 1 or 2 people that are making these decisions, and hopefully, as the season goes on, it kind of balances out. It starts to stabilize a little bit as the cream rises to the top.
Our D3 Auto Sales player of the game from yesterday was Montario Elston. And I don't have his stats in front of me. He actually only touched the ball about 5 times. You saw one of the highlights there where he had a 76-yard run for a touchdown on the reverse. I mean, again, I can't emphasize enough the speed that Parkview has. We're going to go to a break. I'm going to try to effort to get Greg Coffin, defensive coordinator from Pottsville, on the phone. They had a big victory tonight. They stand at the top of the 4A4 right now at 3-0. And we'll go to him, and we'll come back right after this. You're watching Overtime Arkansas on the Arkansas Sports Network.
It's so hot, you're going to think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not going to believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
There comes a time in all of our lives when we need the help of legal services. Well, let Leah Jacobs at Heirloom Legal at 425 North Church Street in Atkins be your go-to when you are needing assistance. If you're needing a will or a trust, maybe you're helping an elder parent with Medicaid issues, or planning on opening a brand new business, maybe you have another legal need. Jacobs can help you plan your next step. That's Heirloom Legal, helping families build and protect their legacy through estate, elder, and business planning. Call 501-819-2553, and walk-ins are welcome.
Back here on Overtime Arkansas, we've got Defensive coordinator of the Pottsville Apaches. We got Greg Kaufman here with us. And Greg, second time you've joined us here on Overtime Arkansas. Big performance from your team tonight and a 42-21 victory over Mayflower.
Yes, sir. Hey, I want to start off by saying, man, we're blessed and God is good. But, man, it was another great night at John Needham Stadium. It was homecoming night for us. And, yeah, it was a good one. We kind of got off to a little bit of a rough start. I think we were tied 7-7 at half. And, man, our kids came out second half really recharged and done what we needed to do to get that win.
Boy, you're right. Your offense really lit up in the second half. We had you down for 436 total yards of offense tonight. Miller Mahan really led you tonight. Mahan's a kid that not a lot of people around the state talk about, but he's a kid that was injured last season, but tonight may have been his coming out party.
Yes, sir. He came out second half. First half, like I said, we just kind of struggled all together as offensively, but second half he came out a totally different person, the person that we really expected him to be and need him to be this season. And he wound up rushing for 2 touchdowns and throwing for 3 more. And when we knew we needed to have a big play on offense, we made sure the ball was in his hands.
Well, he was phenomenal, but you had a lot of kids out there that played well tonight. I'll tell you, another kid that probably doesn't get talked about enough on your team, Bo Ade, a kid on defense. That kid is a raw meat eating linebacking machine.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, as a defensive coordinator, man, those are the guys that you love to have. Yeah, he seeks out contact, and man, when he does it, he brings the lumber and he brings it well. He had a couple really big hits today. Does a great job of pursuing the football. He can run. He's real good at keeping quarterbacks in contain. The Fennel kid that Mayflower had at quarterback today, that kid's really fast and shifty, and we're kind of concerned about him. But, man, we just done a good job with our inside linebackers with Bo and with Caleb Stansel, and they done a good job of keeping him in contain.
You guys noticed, I don't get a chance to watch a lot of Pottsville ball because of what we got going on here, at just with everything that we've got going on here. Man, but you guys look good tonight. And one of the things I noticed, you guys give the ball to a lot of guys. You don't just have one or two. You have several that are just, guys that you can count on. And really, for one of the, I would say for the, one of the first times that I've seen, you guys have a little speed to burn there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we like to keep the kids involved. We want to let everybody know that, hey, your number can be called at any time, and when you get it dialed up and it's coming to you, man, we expect and we know we have some kids that can make some plays. A couple other big names, kids that have played really well the last couple of weeks. Eli Adkins has had a couple pretty big games here lately. Colby Stevenson, Jaden Harris. I don't think he had much offensively going on tonight, but had a real big game last week for us. And then, of course, Landon McNeely does a good job putting his hand down at tight end and securing the edge for us. So, yeah, we've got some guys. We got the weapons, I feel like, in place where hopefully we can kind of build on what we did the second half tonight and get the ship rolling in the right direction the second half of the season.
After that 51-0 loss to Elkins, I think people kind of turned their eyes away from y'all a little bit. But you guys seem to be playing better and better every week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's one thing we harped on. We're still trying to weed out some of the little things. When you're dealing with teenage boys, teenagers in general, you're trying to weed out a little of the immaturity. I'm not saying we have immature kids, but just some of the things that you focus on that aren't really team centered. And we kind of early in the season, we really struggled with that. And week by week, we're slowly and surely getting rid of those. And I really felt like the second half tonight, we really kind of showed what we can look like and who we can be when we're 100% focused on what we're doing as a team instead of individual accolades.
This Mayflower team that you played tonight, they're no joke. They're a pretty good ball team. They came in 3-0. They just got a win at Clinton, which, if I'm not mistaken, got a big win tonight against Haskell Harmony Grove, which your conference is just insane. I mean, the 4A4, every week you go out there and any team just about can beat the other team.
Yes, yeah. So we've been in that conference, out west for all those years, and coming into this conference this year, everybody was fresh, and we really felt like last year too, and this year that it's up for grabs. Whoever wants it, whoever's playing good at any given moment, and yeah, big win tonight. Mayflower, watching them on film. We watch film as a staff together on Sunday afternoons, and then of course I watch film all the time, Sunday or Saturday, Sunday, and then throughout the week. And the more I watch them guys, man, the more impressed I was with their play up front. And about Wednesday, I grew a little bit concerned. Really kind of felt like, man, we was going to have to do a great job of harping on playing with good leverage up front if we was going to win the line of scrimmage. And sure enough, that opening drive, man, they came right at us and punched it in. And our kids done a good job adjusting and realizing, hey, we are going to have to play with better leverage and to control the game. So proud of our kids. And yeah, like you said, Clinton got a big one against Haskell Harmony Grove tonight. So yeah, that kind of throws everything into little tailspin. I think it's going to come down to the last 2 or 3 weeks to kind of see how it all shakes out.
Well, last year it came down to the very last week of it, and that didn't go in your favor. Maybe this year it will go in your favor. I'm looking here. Central Arkansas Christian had a hard time with Little Rock Hall tonight. They ended up winning 40-27, and then we talked about Clinton beating Haskell Harmony Grove tonight, 34-7. Tonight was the final score there. So big time wins for the Clinton Yellow Jackets, and then Central Arkansas Christian bounce back win there because they really needed that one. So, well, Greg, man, I appreciate you coming on here to Overtime Arkansas. Congratulations, and I know you're looking forward to that game next week against the Bauxite Miners.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I sure appreciate you having me on here. And, man, like I said earlier, God is good. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Greg Kaufman, defensive coordinator of the Pottsville Apaches. They had a big win as we bring Bill back into the scene here. Bill, you've gotten a chance to see a few football games tonight. You saw the Pottsville Apaches, and I actually got to call that game tonight. I can say one of the better performances I've seen from the Pottsville Apaches in quite a while.
I would have to 100% agree with that assessment, Brad. I've watched that game. I've watched 3 games tonight. It was pretty fun. But Pottsville, I've not seen them look that good in quite a while. I was able to see Pottsville over the course of several years, and I will say a couple of weeks ago they did play with more tenacity than I had seen, but it seemed like tonight they had put that tenacity together with a good game plan, and they just really had things under control tonight.
So let's just to give you a little bit of a rundown there. Number one, that 42-21 score was not as close as it actually was. It was 42-14. Mayflower tacked on a touchdown with a minute to go in the ball game there to kind of get it back to a little bit more respectability. Pottsville dominated the second half of that ball game, scored 35 points in the second half, 21 in the fourth quarter. And like I said before, Miller Mahan is a kid that nobody's talking about right now. And that kid is a really, really good quarterback. And he put them on his back in the second half. And like I said, to the tune of 436 yards of offense. Pottsville Apaches look good. They impressed me tonight. When I watch Miller Mahan, I know that a lot of people, have kind of got the visions of the old Michael Perry dancing in their heads tonight from Pottsville. If you don't know Michael Perry, Perry was probably the greatest Pottsville Apache to ever play in both football and basketball. He actually got a scholarship to go play at Arkansas Tech in both football and basketball. So he was able to capitalize from Pottsville, and he's actually a coach over there right now. And unbelievable player there. He led the first ever Pottsville team that went 13-0, ended up at Pulaski Academy. That didn't go that well, but Miller Mahan really got Pottsville looking good tonight.
He really did. He looked electric, and he was able to put the ball where he needed to, which is something that, Pottsville traditionally has been a little one-dimensional. They like to run it, and you might only get a few throws. That's why when you're doing Pottsville football, broadcasting their games, you're going to have a lot of quick games, especially if the opponent is also running the football. And it was kind of a little refreshing tonight to see Pottsville be able to air it out a little bit.
Well, we've got highlights from Little Rock Christian and Pulaski Academy. We've got highlights from Warren. Don't go to them just yet, Bill. We got highlights to McGee and Warren tonight. We've also got callers. We got Adam Johnston. He's going to tell us a little bit about that game with Little Rock Mills and Whitehall. That one come down to the very end. And then Alan Russell is going to be with us tonight we're going to talk a little bit about that Pine Bluff and Maumelle game that he was at tonight. So give us a little bit of time here. Let's get Adam on the phone. We'll come back. We've got more Overtime Arkansas right after this.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but we know there's growth in the journey. At ATU, we value this moment because here, nature becomes your classroom. So breathe it in. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Back here on Overtime Arkansas, we've got Adam Johnston on the phone with us as he was at that wild Whitehall and Little Rock Mills ball game tonight. Got the scoreboard up tonight. You see Little Rock Mills prevailed over Whitehall tonight by a score of 31-27. Adam, you were there, firsthand experience. Tell us what you saw tonight.
Well, I didn't know when the game was going to end. Needless to say, there was a lot of flags thrown on the field, but nonetheless, it was a very good game. Both teams very evenly matched. The contrast of styles, Whitehall is a team that loves to run the football, control the clock. Mills is a team that can beat you over the top, and that's essentially how Mills ended the game, beating us over the top, scored 2 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes. Whitehall was up 11 with 6 minutes and 13 seconds left, and then Mills got a stop on defense and scored those 2 touchdowns. But really, it was a phenomenal game. A lot of athletes around the field. So, I mean, it was fun to watch for sure. I know there's a lot of unhappy people back at home as we're driving home from Whitehall. Try to be as unbiased as possible, but it was a very, very intriguing game, to say the least.
So, Little Rock Mills, they ranked number 3 in our poll. Whitehall came in at number 10 in our poll this week. Jaden Smith was the guy that won our D3 Auto Sales Player of the Week. He has been a force there for Whitehall. Tell us a little bit about maybe his game tonight. And, you said that I believe it was 27. Was it not 27-16 with just 5 minutes to go? Was that right?
Yes, 27-16. And Jaden, he ripped off I believe it was around like 70 yards.
Yeah.
We were kind of backed up towards the 15 to 20 yard line. Ripped off a big run, got ran down. Next play, Kylan Davis punches it in. But he was Jaden Smith, obviously. I mean, he's the engine to the offense. It's a ton of carries each and every week. I mean, the kid works extremely hard. I mean, I don't think you'll find anybody in the state, they can work as hard as he does. He's only listed as 5'9", so, he's small. So he's got to work hard, you know what I mean? But,
yeah.
the kid is strong as an ox, and his legs are huge, and the kid can run.
Well, he's been a phenomenal player there, and you guys are in the 5A Central, so you've got not only do you have Mills, but you got Robinson,
Yes.
and those two teams are really really good. And I mean, really, I don't know if there's a hair difference between them. I guess you're going to get a chance to find out, but I think Whitehall's in a real good position. Now, let's talk a little bit about Whitehall. The fact that they lost their coach Ryan Mallett in the summer there in the swimming accident. It seems like that team, though, has pulled together and really come around and is playing pretty well right now.
They are. I mean, they faced a ton of adversity this past summer. Had a player die in Reddick. Then obviously Coach Mallett dying in that tragic loss, and these kids have really just came together as a team. And Coach Mitchell has rallied the troops pretty much, and he's been a great leader for the program and for the school. And I'm sure will be a great leader moving forward. It's very hard for these kids to deal with stuff like that at this age, and they're just continuing to show that resiliency. And this loss tonight is some adversity, but obviously there's been a ton more adversity than just a loss on a Friday night.
That's right. Well, they've got still a lot of season ahead and a lot of things to happen. In there's a lot more to happen in the next 5 to 6 weeks here that we have in the regular season, and so I'm expecting that Whitehall is going to be right there at the end, vying for a playoff spot.
I think they'll be able to get in, maybe that 3 or 4 seed coming out of the Central. Obviously, Robinson and Pine Bluff are still left on the schedule. If they can win one of those games, I think their chances are looking really good. They just got to win the games that they're supposed to. You got teams like Morrilton, Bologna, Watson Chapel is very down, so we would think that would be a win. But if they could squeak out a game against Robinson or Pine Bluff, you're looking at a shoe-in pretty much into the state tournament. They missed the playoffs last year, and the year before that made the state runner-up, losing to PA, who was in the 5A. Now they're in 6A. But the boys are playing really well.
Well, they're playing hard. They're playing tough, and we'll be watching them. And if something good happens down there, we'll definitely get a hold of you, and we'll definitely talk about it.
For sure. And I do want to mention that Coach Mallett's mom, she comes to every single game. She was at every single game last year, every single game this far. And, man, she's probably the loudest one up there in the bleachers, I'm saying. But it's really cool to see her passion and just the commitment that she's shown to these kids and this community.
All right. Well, Adam, man, we miss you, number one. And
I miss you too.
Yeah, well, we miss you. I'm telling you, you're going to have to join us for these state tournaments that we got coming up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the schedule looks like. I will let you know for sure.
Hey, you got
miss doing those games on Friday night.
You got games. Yeah, I say you got games. You got days. You got a few days that you can take off. So you just need to reserve 1 or 2 of them for us. All right.
I'll make it happen.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That's Adam Johnson down there in Whitehall. He was at that big game tonight. Big games all over the state, Bill. One of the big games that we had tonight was the Pulaski Academy and Little Rock Christian ball game. Just really sends shockwaves around the state of Arkansas.
It really did. I was watching a lot of that game and giving you updates throughout the game that you were broadcasting. And, I'm sitting here watching Little Rock Christian. They go up a score, then they go up another score, and then they keep going up scores. And, it just got to become a rout. And I'm not sure what universe we're living in anymore.
Right. Well, I'm looking at your score or the Pulaski Academy LRCA score. And then all of a sudden I look up and Little Rock Hall is beating Central Arkansas Christian at one point. And then you've got Clinton beating Haskell Harmony Grove like a drum. And there's other, you got Whitehall at that point was up 2 scores on Little Rock Mills. I'm like, what is happening? We're in some sort of bizarro world here. But anyway, one of the things that I heard coming back home, it's been a very busy day today. But coming back home, I was listening to a high school show, and they were talking about the fact that man that um, Walker White was a guy that had not beaten Pulaski Academy, and he got his chance to beat him tonight.
Sure did, and he beat him pretty handily. It was very impressive watching Little Rock Christian almost impose their will on Pulaski Academy tonight. It was something that was not expected. I know I was expecting to see a really good game, but I did not expect the blowout that we received.
Oh, yeah, and we were talking about, Pulaski Academy as a team that was one of those teams that we could talk about as a number one overall. And Little Rock Christian said, hey, look over here at us. you know, Little Rock Christian was a team that started as our number one team in the state of Arkansas, in the 6A in the state of Arkansas, and they got beat early, but boy, they came back, they bounced back. Shiloh Christian, Shiloh Christian went to Little Rock Christian and beat them by 3 scores. And so how good does that win look for Shiloh Christian tonight,
Real
as
good.
Pulaski Academy just could not hang with Little Rock Christian tonight.
And it was impressive to watch. And you're right. I mean, Shiloh makes them look really good on what they was able to do over Little Rock Christian.
Absolutely. Hit that share button. Let everybody know you're watching Overtime Arkansas right here on the Arkansas Sports Network. And we're going to go to a break. And when we come back, we're going to, I say we're going to try to get Alan Russell on the phone with us as he went to that Pine Bluff and Maumelle game, another big game throughout the state of Arkansas. So stay tuned with us, and we'll be back in just a moment. Back here on Overtime Arkansas, we've got Alan Russell on the phone with us as he was at the Pine Bluff Maumelle game. And Alan, tell us a little bit about what happened there in the 5A Central.
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to mention the celebrity you got sitting there with you.
Who's that? Oh, yeah.
How you doing, Bill?
Doing well. Not sure if you can hear me on your end.
I don't know if you can hear him or not, but he said doing well.
Good to hear, man. Man, if you was looking for a team that could I don't know, go score for score with Parkview Brad, but this Pine Bluff team, when they opened it up in the third quarter to stretch out their lead, man, they got some studs all over the field, and they can make play for play with anybody in the state, in my opinion.
Well, we knew that they were going to have athletes, no doubt about that. And they definitely have them. Of course, they've got some dangerous skill players. I know Courtney Crutchfield is a kid that we talk about. Austin Dendy was another kid that we talk about a lot. Dendy's a kid that I believe, is he a Memphis commitment?
He said he was Ole Miss. Well, he got Ole Miss. He had 14 commitments, he said, and or 14 offers. And he was looking, and he hinted at the end he wants to stay in state.
Okay.
So there you go. I don't know. He's not holding the offer from Arkansas, I don't think.
Yeah, so you're basically saying he's wanting that offer.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he said at the end. Towards the end of the conversation, I would rather stay home. That's what he said.
Okay.
When we interviewed.
So he's waiting.
I guess if you got ways to get that into your Hogs brethren, that'd be a guy you want to go get because he made play after play after play all night, Brad.
So what was the final score there tonight?
41-25, but the score really is Maumelle just didn't stop playing. Pine Bluff went to some of the backup guys in the secondary, and Maumelle got a late score to make it 41-25. And then Pine Bluff came back like, you know what, still like 9 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Pine Bluff came back, started running clock, and started running, was able to make some plays to run the game out. But Crutchfield had a big night, and I think everybody expected that.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's one of the top players in the entire nation, and he's definitely that for a reason. So, big night there for Pine Bluff. Big night, winning against Maumelle in the 5A Central. Pine Bluff is a team, talk about right up there. You got Robinson, you got Whitehall. Whitehall Pine Bluff's going to be a fun one, by the way.
Yes, sir. What happened with Mills and Whitehall tonight? We hadn't heard.
Mills won in the last seconds, 31-27, 12 seconds left. They scored a touchdown to win the game.
What a game, man.
Hey, do you have a way to check on the Walnut Ridge Palestine Wheatley score for us? We don't have a score for it.
Yeah, I can get that over to you.
All right. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir, man. OTA looking great. Guys looking great on the air. I mean, it's the thing about where we thought it would be at this point.
Well, we appreciate it, man. Hit that share button, get it out there for us, and let everybody know you're watching OTA right here on the Arkansas Sports Network and Arkansas Sports Network High School. We're one and the same, we're the one network. But
the High School Sports Center of Arkansas. Call it what it is.
That's what we're trying to be, man. That's what we're trying to be. Well, listen, man, we appreciate you joining us here. We're going to get to Warren and McGee highlights, and we're going to go over our scoreboards and wrap this one up for tonight.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good night, and man, thank y'all. Thanks for what y'all do there and what y'all are doing there tonight from the house, and we look forward to taking this thing bigger, man.
Well, next week we got Rector, we've got ICC.
Yep.
That's the thing. It's going to be all 8-man next week, because y'all will have that one, and we will be in Brinkley and Augusta. So next week is all 8-man for ASN.
All right, we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
That's great, brother. Yes, sir. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
All right.
Alan Russell, founder of 42 Sports, that 42 Sports, Arkansas Sports Network combined to make the Arkansas Sports Network High School. And here we are, as you can see what we've got going on here. Let's go ahead and let's go to the highlights of Warren and McGee.
This is another one that
Warren,
I was watching. Yeah, this is another
Bill,
one. Go ahead.
We've got Warren as our number 4 team in 4A, and I think there are people that would argue that they probably should be higher. I'll tell you right now, that top 4 in 4A is just tough. All 4 of them. We've got Harding Academy number 1, Malvern number 2, number 3 is Elkins, and number 4 is Warren. If it holds out to be that is your semifinals, one heck of a semifinals is that going to be?
Fun. It will be a lot of fun. And I'm telling you, I was watching Warren tonight against a really good McGehee team, and Warren, just as you see in this highlight right here, just able to score. And I was keeping you updated on this one as well, and it was chunky. That's the only way I can describe this one. Very chunky, as a lot of Warren's yardage came in big chunks. They would score on plays of 20 yards or more, and was able to get several turnovers on this during this game. Just overall a dominating performance by Warren tonight.
Warren is known for athletes coming through there. They have the receivers that have come through there are phenomenal. And I am trying to find the name of the receivers that they've got now, because they're just another step in the next evolution, I guess, in the wide receiver university down there.
That's
whatever you want to call it, right?
That's what it is. I mean, when you have consistent development of players that are not only going on at a D1 level but continuing their career at the major NFL level, you're doing something right at the small town school when that's happening.
They are phenomenal. You got athletes all over the field. Coach Bo Embry's been down there over 20 years now. And, man, he has just built an unbelievable program there. I remember watching Warren when they first started. their program when they had Brett Smith and Rashawn Fellows and Terrence Hampton. Those guys were just they I think they all went to Tennessee. Maybe I think one of them maybe went to Arkansas and two of them went to Tennessee. I know Brett Smith was one of them. I'm pretty sure Fellows was the other one there. Um, those guys were the start. I remember watching those guys as sophomores, and oh man, the quarterback, what was his name? He ended up at Arkansas State, but those guys were just phenomenal, and you could see that they were coming. And I watched them in 2001. Pretty sure they won the championship in 2002, and it feels like they've won about 30 championships since then. There's a guy named Traylon Burks. I don't know if you know him. I think he plays for a team in the NFL now. Gets paid a lot of money to
I
play
think he wears a little
football.
bit of blue these days.
Right, and I mean, you're talking about in the middle of a watermelon patch, guys. I mean, Warren, there, is in South Arkansas, and not to say that there's not much going on down there, but there's not much going on down there. But boy, they know how to play football.
There's a lot going on down there. If you know, like the outdoors and like to hunt and fish, there's a lot going on down there.
That is true. There's a lot of good deer hunting
But
going on down there. That's
they're
for
doing
sure.
something right. They don't have a lot going on in their free time other than hunting and fishing because the rest of it they're spending into honing their skills out on that football
Well,
field.
I'll tell you what, they are very impressive. And, McGee, last 2 weeks for McGee, they've run into Monticello. They've run into Warren. Monticello is a team we're probably not talking about enough. Monticello ended up beating them last week, and then now Warren handled them pretty good tonight.
Really did. And the one thing that that I always remembered when I would play or see McGee in action is their tight line. I mean, they line up so close on that offensive line. It's really hard for the defense to get the penetration back there. And because they're so tight on that offensive line, as a defensive lineman, I can tell you right now, it hides a lot of the movement in that backfield, and it's really hard to know who has that ball. And I think Warren did an excellent job tonight of scoping that out.
Absolutely. Well, they moved on, winning big tonight, and that 4A8 is owned by the Warren Lumberjacks, but I know that Crossett's going to have something to say about that. So is Monticello, there and DeWitt. Those
DeWitt's
those
in the picture.
guys. DeWitt is definitely in the picture. Let's go ahead and go to our main scoreboard tonight. As you see, Warren beats McGee 55-14. Rogers beats Fort Smith Southside 38-24. Pine Bluff ended up beating Maumelle and finishing them off. We've got a Walnut Ridge score. I'll get to that in just a second. We had Farmington beats Harrison 43-40. That was a big comeback by the Farmington Cardinal. Little Rock Catholic put a good win together tonight over Searcy. Searcy's a good ball team. And they ended up winning the game tonight. Little Rock Christian, story of the night, 55-13. Bismarck beats Jesseville 46-6. And we've got Harding Academy over Stuttgart 42-6. And Parkview, you saw that on our airwaves last night, 54-7 was the final score there. We're going to go to the 2A top 10 now. Mineral Springs continues to roll. 48-6. We don't have a Mark Tree Mariana score. Maybe if you're watching right now, you could get us that as well. Carlisle, number 3 team in 2A, team that has really moved up, beats Bearden 42-0. Desark bounces back with a 48-20 win over Earl. Hazen 65-8 over Hampton. Hazen's getting it going right now, folks. Watch out for the Hazen Hornets. EPC, speaking of getting it going, over Clarendon 46-18. Bigelow 35-7 over Mountainburg. McCrory and Cross County may be the
that one would have been the game of the week to be at. That one, Brad, went to triple overtime.
Triple overtime, 18-12 was the final score there. North Platte, Missouri, over Conway Christian, 48-12. Murfreesboro wins over Poen, 30-16. We're looking at Murfreesboro as a team that we're going to come visit pretty soon. Just keep your eyes out on that one.
Get us some diamonds.
On the 3A top 10, you got Prescott, number 1 overall in the 3A, 52-7. Victors over Gurdon. Boonville, 46-14 over Hackett. Salem beats Atkins, 56-14. Hoxie over Rison, 49-12. Harmony Grove, Washita County. That was by a special request from their administration, 46-20 over Drew Central. Magnet Cove, big win, 44 nothing
I tell
over
you,
Danville.
Magnet Cove is another team that we have to look out for. They are starting to make some noise there in the 3A.
They definitely are. 3A is one. It's kind of like 4A. How are you going to crack that top four? That's the question. Jessieville 46-6 losers to Bismarck. Bismarck's a team that's very very good. Walnut Ridge actually beat Palestine Wheatley tonight 43-20. We don't have a Junction City Falk score. Junction City is a team that has kind of jumped up our poll. They lost to Haynesville, Louisiana last week, 31-6. But
It's a
I
good team
bet,
out of Louisiana, though.
yes, I bet they had a chance to bounce back tonight. Glen Rose, 56-6 over Paris. Watch out for the Beavers.
Let me
They
tell
had
you
a very
something.
tough non-conference
Let me tell
schedule.
you something about Glen Rose. They may be the quietest 10 ranked team in 3A.
Well,
I'm
they're
telling you.
1-2. They're 1-2, but they're 1-2 to cross it, and their two losses cross it and Malvern. They're pretty good.
They're pretty
All
good.
right, let's move on to 4A. In our 4A top 10, you got Harding Academy taking the win over Stuttgart. We didn't have Malvern because they had a bye tonight. Elkins over Gravett 41-20. Warren, you saw that 55-14 over McGee. Rivercrest bounces back with a 44-32 victory over Pocahontas. DeWitt 49. DeWitt's good, y'all. I'm telling you, 49-20 over Star City. Little Rock Hall falls to CAC. I don't have exact score there, but they did fall to CAC. Little Rock Hall put up a nice effort tonight. Lincoln comes in at number 9 in our poll. They're 48-22 victors over Green Forest. And then Monticello looks like they were cruising to victory over Helena West Helena. On to 5A, you got Hot Springs falling to Parkview. You saw that last night on our airways. Parkview does look like a team that is a very, very viable number one overall team in the state. Shiloh Christian, 49-7 over Dardanelle. Dardanelle scheduled Shiloh Christian for their homecoming, and I'm thinking,
No.
why?
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Little Rock Mills, not a final there, but it is final, 31-27. Little Rock Mills over Whitehall. Robinson over Watson Chapel, 35-7. Valley View over Paragould, 42-7. Hot Springs Lakeside, the team to watch out for, not a lot of people talking about, 34-20 over Camden Fairview. Pine Bluff beats Maumelle. Another team that not a lot of people are talking about, Arkansas High, Texarkana. They beat Magnolia tonight pretty well, and that's a team that is undefeated right now. And in the 5A South, another team that's going to have to throw their best to see if they can beat Parkview. Let's go to the 6A scoreboard. In 6A, we got Greenwood over Van Buren, 61-17. Little Rock Christian with the win of the night over Pulaski Academy, 55-13. Marion was cruising to a victory over Greene County Tech. Benton goes down to El Dorado, 56-7. Benton, I think, is kind of finding their stride right now. Little Rock Catholic beats Searcy 24-0. And let's go to 7A.
I'm telling you, there's a score coming up here in 7A that's way up there. It is not a typo. Just let you know.
All right. So 56-0 over Southwest is Conway. Conway's the other team that you can say they're definitely one of the teams that may be number one overall. Bryant, 48-7. Bryant says, don't forget about us. Fayetteville is another team, 56-21 over Bentonville West. Fayetteville has played very, very well this year. Rogers also pretty well this year and beat a good Southside team tonight, 38-24. There's your score. Bentonville 73, Harbor 39.
My goodness.
Harbor, this is the second time this year that Harbor's given up over 70 points. So obviously they need to work out the defensive kinks. And then finally, Cabot beats Jonesboro 27-14. So, well, Bill, I think that we have successfully done this. What do you think?
We spent a good 12 minutes and had our overtime session. I think we're doing good. This is we're going into that ASN after dark time, so we got to be a little careful.
That's it. 11:36 p.m. I think it's time to wrap things up. We do have a big announcement coming soon about volleyball in the state of Arkansas. I know that this is mainly a football show, but we've got a volleyball announcement coming. And if you're a fan of volleyball, I think you're going to like this, especially in smaller classifications. And I'll just leave it at that. But we got a big announcement coming up for that, and we want you to help us out. And if you like what you see here on the Arkansas Sports Network, make sure that you give us a shout out and maybe give us an email. Hey, look, we're looking for support all the way throughout the state, and you know what? If you help us, we can try to get your kids noticed throughout the state of Arkansas, and so that's what we're here to do.
That's it. That's what we're all about. We care about numbers in the sense that, the more numbers we have, the more your children and the more the athletes across the state of Arkansas are being seen.
That's right. Well, I can look in the camera and tell how tired my eyes are, and so I'm ready to go to bed. I actually we're doing it. This is the magic of what we do here. You heard Alan allude to what you're doing from home. Well, Bill's in Pea Ridge, and I'm in Atkins right now, and we're doing this show together. And it looks like, hey, we're right in the same room. We're together, but we're not.
We're not.
And
But
so, Bill, I can't tell you.
We brought all the corners of the state together tonight. Alan Russell up in Jonesboro. We had
Yeah.
Adam down in Southwest Arkansas. We're covering the state tonight.
We got it. We got it. Well, we're going to wrap things up, and we made it, took it home. Like I said, next week we'll be at Rector for the Rector ICC ball game, and that's a rematch of the 2A state championship in 8-man, or I should say sanctioned, which is 1A, 2A. We're excited to be at our first ever 8-man ball game. We set out to do that. We don't have a schedule for October outside of the state volleyball tournament weekend. We're going to be at places in October. If you want to be there with us, if you want us to be there with you, shoot us an email. Let us know, hey, we'd like for Arkansas Sports Network to come and do our game, and we'll definitely take a look at it. So we're there for big schools, small schools. It doesn't matter. We want to be where people want us to be. We're kind of like Cheers. We want to go where everybody knows our name, and they're always glad we came.
Free barbecue's a bonus.
Hey, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, Bill, we're going to wrap things up from here and just say so long. Appreciate what you've done tonight and all the things that you've done to put things together. And, well, you know what? It's going to be next week, tomorrow. We start next week tomorrow. So
that's it.
Anyway, for Bill and all of our crew around the state of Arkansas, we want to say thank you. We'll be back next week for more Overtime Arkansas, more games of the week, and everywhere across the state of Arkansas.